Hey, what's up everybody? I'm Andrew Cannon, and today, this is what I'm skating. If you are a skateboard nerd, you probably know a thing or two about this, or if you find your way around YouTube, this is the designed by Dan Corrigan Powell flight deck. This is the Chess Skulls board, and this one is pretty wild. We'll talk about the sizing on it all, and then we're gonna look at the two different nose, tail, whatever you wanna call them. They are twin, but we're gonna talk about them because they have different shapes, which is interesting, and I have strong feelings about it. This board is 8.42 inches wide. It is 31.88 inches long. It's got a 13.88 inch wheelbase. Because it's a twin, it has 6.9 inches on the nose and the tail. This one comes on the K26 concave, which I really like. It just feels nice and responsive to me, but not too quick. This is where this board gets a little bit weird. And it's almost, honestly for me, it's a little challenging to see. I don't know about you guys. This is the one side, and it's got this square nose, and then it's like a super fat, it's just super fat. It's kind of like an FA or hockey shape. And then this side is supposed to be the more like sort of traditional kind of tail, so you can get some scoop. It's a little fat for my preference personally, but that's okay. I'm gonna play along. We're gonna see how it feels. I will tell you, this to me looks gross. We did shapes like this when I was over at Santa Cruz for a bit, because obviously everyone was getting super fired up on all the stuff that was happening with hockey and FA. And I would look at those shapes and I would just be like, ugh. And I totally understand. Some people are gonna be like, Andrew, you like a really tapered shape. That looks disgusting. And I'll be like, that's super fair as well. But for somebody who likes to get that little bit of scoop on their tricks, I really like the more tapered nose and tail. That said, my favorite thing about doing these videos is seeing if I just have my head up my ass, or if I'm like, actually, this feels really great. So stoked to check it out. A little bit of background, I met Dan Corrigan, well, I don't know about the first time I met him, but I vividly remember seeing him at the York Skate Park in Pennsylvania, and he was super cool, and I was just like, dude, I love the way this guy skates. And this is back when I was skating for World, and was always a big fan of his. I like the way he has like really quick feet, and he does kind of like weird wild tricks, and it's really cool to see him doing what he's doing now. So I'm a fan. And also, as somebody who is making YouTube content, the amount of content that he puts out is truly unbelievable, and I don't know if anybody will properly understand that without having tried to make content themselves. Okay, on to the trucks. Today I pulled out the Thunder T2s. I wanted to give these ones a go again. I've been experiencing a little bit of, not necessarily truck madness, but just trying to figure out my setup. And so I was skating the regular Thunders. I ended up grabbing the Slappies, and I put the Slappies on, 825. I'm skating that Skate Mafia board still, but I was just feeling like my 3-flips were a little laggy when I was doing it on the original Thunders. So I was like, you know what? I'm gonna grab these T2s and I'm gonna pop those on there. So if you are unfamiliar with the T2s, they are a completely redesigned, man, it's like the gold foil and the white is like popping off. I'm like, yeah. These are completely redesigned from the original Thunder. The big difference is, one, they are 54 millimeters high versus the 52, which is your standard Thunder T1. They have different geometry. So they moved the actual like axle, they moved that in 3/8 on both sides. So this makes the geometry and the way that it sort of treats the wheelbase more similar to Ace or Indies, which is really cool because you can get it out of Thunder now. And then another big feature is the base plate is going to slide for nose slides and tail slides on the actual ledge versus just having the wheels on there. I did a compare and contrast between the T1s and the T2s. I'll pop a little link, but that was probably the craziest thing to me, was seeing that difference of the base plate on a ledge. I just was kind of blown away. And then the turn on these is just so different. Okay, I've got These are X Formula 99. These are the V5 side cuts, but they're 52 millimeters high. So Rob sent me some 52s just because, you know, I like to get tech. And I was like, man, an X Formula in a smaller wheel might be the ultimate like tech street wheel, just because you'll be able to ride over cracks super nicely, but at the same time, having that small wheel be good for manuals and stuff like that. And then of course this V5 shape has these nice kind of cut edges, so you can lock into rails. And we are at this park near my house that has like a weird curved rail, so maybe we grind it. Well, I mean, probably like a feeble grind. We'll see what happens though. I have just reds. These are the big balls. And then I put a slice of Jessup grip on there. Today I've got the Warsaw chapters, vegan ones. I love this shoe. And that's it. That's really our whole setup. We're gonna get down to some skating. I'm gonna do some flat ground and some manual tricks, and I'm gonna skate this rail. This one might be 2 sessions because the weather has been super rainy here this week, which is why I haven't had a video come out in the last, you know, handful of days. If the weather holds out, we can probably pull it off, because Dan basically said that the 2 different styles are good for 2 different things. This is better for like nose slides, tail slides. He specifically says back tails, and he also really likes like a tail block on that squared outside. And then this side is better for your scoop on 3 flips and stuff like that. Can't do any tail blocks here at the park, but there are, you know, this ledge is here. It's a little bit tall, but you know, I could definitely no slide it. I don't know if I'm back tailing it or not. So we'll see if we can get it all done in 1 session. If not, it'll be 2 sessions and we go from there. But I'm genuinely excited. Huge congrats to Dan. I got a lot of respect for Dan. Super excited to try this board, even though it definitely looks a little outside of my normal taste. Let's just get down to it. I also forgot to mention, this is a flight deck. I mean, I said it early on, but the flight decks, they're thinner, and the best part is they don't break. So you've got that extra confidence when you go to skate on a flat bar, especially if you are feeling a little thick. All right, let's do some skating. I'm going Zach Bryan. Good tunes for today. I'm gonna start with the tapered tail, see how that feels, because otherwise it feels, whoa, wow, these trucks are so zippy. No comply. Let's get a little pop shove it. I haven't gotten to skateboard in over a week, unfortunately. I think it's probably been a little over a week. Poor sad little lady in a dress over there. She's just like 2 years old and so sad. I don't know if that makes much of a difference on the shove it. He says big spins are supposed to be good with it, so we're gonna try one of those. Should probably try it first. Woo! Smaller wheels, super loose trucks, and a crazy shape on the board. I am just freaking it up out here today. Especially because the wheelbase I have been skating is a 14.2. Maybe it is. I don't know. I don't know if I can confirm that it's easier, but what I can say is that with this short wheelbase, that big spin is going real nice. Let's try a 3 flip, because I don't know if I'm ready for a kick flip yet. With these legs, it did take some leave. Oh, I forgot to mention, these trucks are 148s. They're actually small for this board. The board's one is 8.42, and these are good for up to like 8.38, but I don't have a wider set, and I wanted to try them. So it's not making a big difference or anything like that. I'm just letting you know, because it was something I omitted, and I am guilty of sometimes forgetting those details. Oh man, that was tough for me. Man, it's hard for me on the scoopable side. Wait until I try it on the fucking shovel. Ugh. Okay, here we go. Shovel 3 flip. Oh my God. This is a great example though of really taking the time to design your stuff out Whether you are a Corrigan fan or an Andy Anderson fan or a Zach Doling fan, these guys are getting so in there on their boards and designing stuff with so much purpose, which I love. Even if I don't like the board, I love the amount of thought that goes into it. And I'm not saying I don't like it yet. I'm just saying that is an overall. For my 3 flips, I don't love either of the shapes of the nose tail, but that's okay. Let's try a kick flip. Yeah. Man, that little kid is really unhappy right now. I feel bad. Dan tried nollie heel in his one video. See how we do on this. Oh! That felt good. I'm gonna try a heel flip, and that might conclude the flat ground portion, just because I want to put this board to use elsewhere in the park. But the kicks on it, the concave, that K26, I love the way the nose and the tail feel. For me, they just feel really comfortable for my nollies and my ollies and kick flips and stuff. All right, heel flip. Hey, that worked. You could probably see these clouds behind me. It's looking treacherous out here. So far, my thoughts are, this is a shape that I would never pick off of the wall, just because it looks way too much like a snowboard or a tongue depressor. But I do think with the shorter wheelbase and this super wide, I'm gonna call it the nose, just because I personally would skate the fat one as my nose and the more tapered as my tail. This does feel good for that big spin and for that shove it. So maybe I try some shove it nose manuals, because it would actually be very, very nice to be pop shove it off of it and then get onto the nose. Although I haven't put a whole lot of action into these trucks, so they're basically brand new. But I think that would be a cool trick to try, just because you're gonna get so much good area for your foot to land on there, and the shove it does feel comfortable. Do some manuals, do some rail tricks, and we'll end it with some ledge stuff. Just trying to be like Andy Anderson and go slow. Didn't work. I'm not Andy Anderson. Man, that felt so good for a nose manual. I always like to go switch manual as well. Oh, these smaller wheels are pretty sick right there. 54 millimeters on the trucks feels good. Whoop! Woo! Held onto that by the skin of my teeth. Oh, I don't know if I've ever caveman manualed in my whole life. We'll get to work on that one. I think the width of the board feels awesome though. I like it under my feet. Ah! That felt so easy in comparison to how it's felt recently, which is awesome. You can see that there's a little bit of markage right here on the, I'm gonna call it the nose, and that right there is where that scoop into the nose manual is, and that felt so comfortable. That's gonna do it on the manual section of this video. Now rail. It feels like it has a little wax on it. Yeah, we're waxing. I haven't tried it that way. Okay, I think that's gonna be pretty sick. The more I look at the front, I keep being just like, dude, this is just like a rectangle, and somebody took some sandpaper and was like, ksh, 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 ksh. But it's like, it's like a rectangle out of the press. I'm gonna give you a positive on this. I liked that when I was skating the curve rail, because it is so fat on both the nose and the tail, I never felt like my feet were trying to find a good place to rest. It was just like, now it was always there. I'm gonna try some nose slides. What I realized is when I was waxing this just now, there's actually like some nails down here and they pop out. Now I don't think it's gonna matter with my wheels being 52 and if I get on top of it right, but it's kind of sketchy. Okay, Dan might be onto something with the nose slide, because if you've watched this channel and you've heard me in the past, I talk about how terrible I am at nose slides. It's just like a trick that feels uncomfortable for me and has for a really long time, but that does not feel uncomfortable at all. That fat ass square nose that makes me want to throw up in my mouth when I look at it locks in real nicely on a nose slide. Think you might be onto something. I was waiting for it. Gang, final thoughts on the Dan Corrigan chess sculls board. First off, I apologize for the audio issues in the video. I'm like genuinely embarrassed about that, and I'm picking my brain. I don't totally get it. The audio completely dropped out, even recording directly into the little Rode Go 2 microphone. So I'm kind of scratching my head and I don't fully understand. If anyone out there is an expert, please hit me up. Let me know what I'm doing wrong, because it's definitely user error. Final thoughts. I did not love the shape of this board, but the shape of this board was designed with purpose and it worked out. I will say I don't think the taper on the one side is enough taper to really feel that good scoop the way that I like to have it on my 360 flips. But it is better than the gigantic wide side. It definitely felt good on the big spins. The nose slide was sort of legendary. I've never had a board that felt this good with nose slides. And I mean, I try nose slides on everything and I just continue to suck at it. And for the first time, I didn't feel like I was a complete and utter nose sliding failure. So thanks for that, Dan. I appreciate it. The T2s. Loved them. They felt awesome. I'm going to transfer the T2s and these 5299 X Formula wheels to my current setup. See if I dig that. I will swap out the Bones Reds for Swiss, just because Swiss are fucking goated. And the Jessup was really nice. I'm just so curious how many people out there are super into this shape and how many are disgusted. So let me know what you think in the comments below. And let's have a little dialogue. Either way, pal, you're doing a great job with the very specifically designed shapes. It's awesome, and I love what they're doing over there. Thanks everyone for tuning in, and I will see you guys on the next one.